Why are you here? It's been exactly 2 weeks, 3 days, 11 hours and 35 minutes since you left us in that hospital to die.
Sir, your wife and child could die. You doctors just want money. Every small thing is CS. My wife is a strong woman.
Kalu, please. Please just sign it. I'm in so much pain. Please.
Just sign the consent form. Doctor, she will give birth like the Hebrew women in the Bible. My wife is not doing CS.
Another painful scream escaped from Stephanie. She was shaking now. Tears rolled down her face. And the sad part, this wasn't the first time Kalu had chosen his pride over his wife. Stephanie was the kind of woman who never caused trouble. She was kind, responsible, loyal, and she loved her husband deeply. His name was Kalu. When they met, he was charming, spoke well, and he carried himself like a man who had everything under control. The church loved him, his family loved him, and Stephanie loved him most of all. After they got married, she moved into his house and became the perfect wife. She cooked his food, washed his clothes, cleaned, prayed, and supported him. She sat by his side every Sunday at church while the pastor preached about what a godly husband looks like. People looked at them and saw a happy couple. But behind closed doors, things were different. Kalu controlled everything. Every naira that entered that house passed through his hands. Stephanie had no income, no savings, no financial freedom. And that was exactly how Kalu wanted it. Before marriage, Stephanie had a dream. She wanted to own a bakery one day. Not because she wanted to be rich. She simply loved baking. She had the talent and passion for it. One evening, she gathered courage and told Kalu,
Obim, these are my cake designs. I am really good at it, so I want to learn baking professionally.
For what? Why do you want to learn it?
So I can start a business someday.
Are you saying I can't provide for my wife?
No, that's not what I mean, Obim.
As a married woman, you are supposed to stay in your husband's house. You don't need any business. If you want to bake, do it at home.
And just like that, her dream was pushed aside. Months turned into years. Whenever Kalu spoke harshly to her, church women told her to pray. Whenever he controlled her every move, they told her to submit.
The Bible says you must submit.
If you are still watching, comment, I am enjoying this story. Then Stephanie became pregnant. She was so happy. The family was excited. Kalu walked around like he had conquered the world. But as the months passed, the pregnancy became complicated. Steph's body was struggling. The doctors warned that complications could happen during delivery. Kalu ignored them. He told her to pray harder.
Pray harder. God would handle it. God knows more than that doctor.
7 months into the pregnancy, Stephanie sat alone on her bed, crying after another disagreement with Kalu. That night, she called her mother.
Mommy, I am tired. Kalu disrespects me too much. He left the house since morning and came back late. He didn't even call once. He doesn't even care that I'm pregnant.
My daughter, marriage is not easy. Just forgive him, oh. That is how men are. Take it easy, Biko.
But mommy, he doesn't listen to me.
Just pray for him, eh? He will change, don't worry. Just endure. Don't allow the devil break your home.
But
it's okay, just rest. Take care of yourself and my grandchild. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stephanie wiped her tears and she stayed. Now, months later, she was lying on a hospital bed fighting for her life. The doctor's voice became firm.
Young man, if we delay this any longer, we could lose her and the baby. We need you to sign the consent form now.
I am not signing anything. Our mothers did not do surgery and they gave birth. Why is her own different? She will be fine. Sir, this is a medical emergency. I know how you people work. You create doctor's problems so you can charge more money. My wife does not need surgery, sir.
A few minutes later, Mama D arrived at the hospital. She had rushed down the moment she heard her daughter was in labor. The doctor explained everything. She turned to Kalu in shock.
Please, my son, sign the paper. Your wife, my daughter, could die.
Nobody will manipulate me in this hospital. I am not paying any more money for what she can do normally.
Kalu, please come back.
But he didn't stop. He got into his car, slammed the door, and drove away. Meanwhile, Stephanie's condition was getting worse. The doctor came out looking worried. We cannot wait any longer. Fear gripped Mama Grace's heart. How much do we still need? When the doctor mentioned the amount, her legs almost gave way. It was money she did not have, but she refused to give up. She started making calls to relatives, church members, neighbors, anyone willing to help. One by one, the transfers started coming in. Within hours, they had raised enough. Grace walked to the payment counter, paid the money, and signed the consent form herself, and the surgery began.
Mama D sat outside that theater and prayed in a way she had never prayed before. Not the polished church kind of prayer, but the raw, desperate kind. The kind where you grab God by the collar and refuse to let go. Then she heard it. A baby's cry cut through the silence of that hallway.
Doctor?
Both mother and baby survived.
Mama burst into tears. This time they were tears of relief. A few hours later, she met her grandson for the first time, a healthy baby boy. The family celebrated, but only one person was missing. Stephanie finally woke up. The first thing she did was look around the room. She expected
Mommy,
to see Kalu.
where is Kalu?
Just focus on resting, my daughter.
Stephanie understood immediately.
The days that followed were painful. She lay in that hospital bed healing from surgery, and every time the ward door opened, her heart jumped. Maybe it was him, but it was always someone else. A nurse, a visitor, or another patient's husband. Never Kalu. Around her, other women were being cared for by their husbands, who brought food and held their babies. One man even slept on a plastic chair all night because he simply refused to leave his wife's side. Stephanie looked away and blinked back her tears. She had loved Kalu and endured with him. Yet, when she needed him most, he had disappeared. By the fourth day, she stopped asking if anyone had heard from Kalu. The wound on her stomach would heal with time, but the wound in her chest felt deeper with every passing day. When she was finally discharged, Mama D carried the baby, while relatives helped Stephanie into the car, and they went straight to Mama's house. The family agreed quietly that no one would contact Kalu. They would only focus on Stephanie and the baby, and let that man sit in the silence he had chosen for himself. 2 weeks passed without a single word from Kalu. Stephanie was healing little by little, focusing on her son. Then, one afternoon, a familiar car pulled into the compound, and Kalu stepped out. He was calm and cheerful, like a man who had done absolutely nothing wrong. Mama D opened the door and looked at him the way only a mother can look at a man who nearly killed her daughter. Kalu walked in like he owned the house. For 1 second, Stephanie felt relieved that he came back. She had to remind herself of the pain she went through. The nights she cried while holding their newborn son. The relief disappeared. Kalu looked around the sitting room.
Where is my son now?
Where were you when your son needed you, Kalu? You left and never came back till today.
Mama D, I knew you guys would handle it. That's why she has a family now. I needed to clear my head.
Chineke! Kalu!
I'm a man. I needed space and peace of mind though. Besides, she was in good hands now, Abi. Glory be to God. Now where is my son?
Stephanie walked out of her room slowly, holding the baby in her arms. Kalu glanced at her for exactly 1 second before his eyes dropped straight to the baby.
Come, my son.
My son.
Come to
your father. Stephanie took 1 step back and held the baby closer to her chest protectively.
Why are you here? It's been exactly 2 weeks, 3 days, 11 hours and 35 minutes since you left us in that hospital to die.
You were counting the days? This woman. The good thing is I'm here now. Get your things right now. We're going home.
My daughter and grandson are not going anywhere with you. You think you can just walk in here and make demands, Kalu? Who do you think you are, Seth?
Mama D, calm down. He is my son.
If it's not because of your family, I would have given you a dirty slap.
The room erupted. Voices rose, but Kalu shouted right back. He insisted the family was turning his wife against him. He told Stephanie that she was sinning by refusing to come back home, that a wife's place was in her husband's house. The shocking part was that Kalu genuinely believed he was the victim. The truth was, while Stephanie was recovering from surgery, Kalu had spent those weeks living as though nothing had happened. One weekend, after a few weeks of leaving the hospital, Kalu was sitting at a busy pepper soup joint with 3 of his friends. A football match was playing loudly on a television mounted to the wall. Bottles littered their table. Laughter filled the air. A waitress walked past carrying a tray of drinks, and Kalu flashed her a smile. She smiled back and kept walking. There was no sign of guilt on his face, no concern about his wife.
Congratulations, my brother. For what? For what? For your son, of course. Wait, who told you it was a boy? You didn't know? Of course I knew. Guy, how can you not know? Anyways, how was the delivery now? Because guy, when my wife was giving birth, she nearly finished me. Every minute that woman was shouting she was dying. But you won't believe it, the next day she was walking around like nothing happened. Bro, my own situation was different though. The doctor was saying my wife needed surgery. My mother-in-law too joined him.
Everybody was pressuring me as if she was the first woman to give birth. I said my wife doesn't need CS, but nobody listened to me. Everybody was just shouting. So I entered my car and left for my peace of mind.
You did the right thing, my bro. Women know how to make things look worse than they are. Peace of mind is very important.
Exactly. These women make pregnancy look like one big thing. Even animals give birth without knowing. Are you people hearing yourselves? Guy, you left your wife that needed CS surgery in the hospital, and you don't even know if your child is a boy or girl? Guy, chill. It's not that deep, nah. It is deep. I don't understand you guys, oh. Why you go leave your pregnant wife, bro? Chairman, relax. I'm sure she is fine. Bro, I'll tell you the truth. What you did was wrong. Better go and apologize to your wife. Guy, I beg. Enough of all this serious talk. You don't condole the mood.
Cynthia, bring more trophy and pepper soup.
The tension broke immediately. The men laughed again. The football match returned to being the center of attention. The conversation moved on to other things. But even as the jokes continued and the drinks kept flowing, one thought remained in Kalu's mind. A son. He had a son. Days later, he thought about it and decided he was going to get his family and drove straight to Mama D's house. Back in the
everything
sitting room,
you did, you still think I will allow my daughter to go with you?
That is my son!
And she's my daughter.
If you people plan to keep my wife and son here forever, you're making a mistake. Since you don't want to behave like a godly wife anymore, I am taking this matter to the church and I will be back.
Everything will be fine. I'm so scared, Mama. Shh. We are here. We are family.
the very next week, Kalu began carrying out his threat. The calls started first. His mother called almost every day, reminding Stephanie that she belonged in her husband's house and insisting that she had a right to see her grandson. Not once did she acknowledge that her son had done anything wrong. To her, the real problem was that Stephanie refused to come home. Soon, Kalu's relatives
You are proving
joined
stubborn, Abi. You are trying to use the baby to punish my brother.
Everywhere Stephanie turned, someone was pressuring her to go back. Then, the church became involved. Church women she had known for years began sending messages. Some quoted Bible verses. Others shared testimonies about women who endured difficult marriages and later received their reward from God. The pressure became constant. It felt like there was no room left in her life to breathe. One Saturday afternoon, Pastor Evans and his wife arrived at Mama D's house. They sat in the living room while Stephanie held her son quietly in her arms. The pastor opened his Bible and began reading about forgiveness. He said forgiveness was divine and a home without a father was incomplete. The pastor's wife talked about submission and how a woman is responsible for keeping her family together. Finally, Stephanie looked at them and asked quietly,
Did Kalu tell you he left me in the hospital to die? He refused to sign the consent form for my surgery. Then he switched off his phone and disappeared for weeks.
What he did was wrong. Very wrong.
For a moment, Stephanie thought they finally understood. Then the pastor cleared his throat. But God can restore what has been broken. His wife nodded. The conversation returned to reconciliation. More advice and scriptures followed. When the visitors finally left, she realized something painful. They had spent more time convincing her to go back than they had spent holding Kalu accountable.
Maybe the pastor is right. Maybe we should think about peace.
Stephanie looked down at her sleeping son. For weeks, she had stood firm, but now she was tired. Tired of explaining herself, tired of fighting everyone. That night, she lay awake staring at the ceiling. Maybe if she returned, the calls would stop. Maybe the church would stop disturbing her. Maybe everybody would finally leave her alone. The thought frightened her, but it also brought relief. The following weekend, her phone rang. The caller was an old friend named Becca. Becca had just heard she had given birth and immediately complained that nobody informed her. Before Stephanie could explain, Becca announced that she was coming over for the weekend. True to her word, she arrived the next morning carrying gifts for the baby and enough snacks to feed an entire family. The moment Becca entered the house, she noticed something was wrong. Stephanie smiled, but it was the smile of someone carrying a weight she could no longer hide. That evening, after the baby had fallen asleep, the two women sat outside together. They talked about old times. They laughed about school memories. Then Becca asked the question. Really happened? Stephanie was quiet for a moment before the words began to spill out. She told Becca everything. Becca listened in silence, saying nothing, allowing her friend to empty a heart that had been carrying too much. As Stephanie continued, Becca's expression changed. By the time Stephanie finished, Becca was pacing.
Men are evil! You mean to tell me that man left you in a hospital bed and disappeared for not one day, weeks? And now everybody wants you to forgive him? This one pained me. Maybe I should just go back. Go back, Ke? I'm tired, Becca. Every day it's one call or one visitor. Maybe if I return, all this will stop. After what he did to you, if your family didn't raise that money in time, Stephanie, you would have died. I'm tired, Becca. I think it's time somebody taught your husband a lesson.
The next morning, Becca put her plan into motion. She sat with Stephanie, Mama D, and a few trusted relatives and explained everything carefully. Nobody wanted trouble. What they wanted was accountability. After everyone agreed, Becca picked up her phone and made a call.
Hey Vincent, are you free tomorrow?
Yeah.
Good. Bring one of your colleagues too. There is someone I want to teach a lesson. I'll text you the address.
The next call went to Kalu. Stephanie's voice was calm when he answered. Kalu, let's settle this matter tomorrow. The confidence in his voice returned immediately. That night, Kalu slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. He was convinced he had won. The following afternoon in Mama D's compound, a few neighbors stood nearby. Then Kalu arrived. He stepped out of the car wearing a confident smile. His mother followed behind him. A few minutes later, the pastor and his wife arrived as well. The moment Kalu entered the compound, he looked around proudly. I am happy we can finally end all this drama. His mother nodded. The pastor smiled. God is restoring this family. Stephanie sat quietly on a chair, holding her son. She said nothing. Then, another vehicle pulled into the compound. 2 soldiers stepped out. The entire atmosphere changed. Kalu frowned.
What is this? What is this supposed to mean? Sit down. Who invited soldiers into a family matter?
Kalu, can you just sit down? Nobody is here to listen to this.
Excuse me? I'm only here because my wife belongs in my house.
Does she? Last I checked, you abandoned your wife in a hospital bed and disappeared.
And so? She is my wife regardless. You need to calm down and take your seat. I won't repeat myself.
If her family had not raised that money, she and her baby could have died.
But they didn't die. Last warning.
Do you hear him? Do you hear what he's saying? This right here is the problem. Men like him hurt women and then act like nothing happened. And society helps them. Instead of holding men accountable, we tell women to endure.
Women are told to pray. When they cry, they are told to keep praying. As if prayer is supposed to replace accountability.
And when they finally speak, everyone tells them to keep quiet so the marriage can survive. How many women are suffering in silence right now because they are afraid of what society will say? How many women have buried their dreams because somebody wanted control over them? This needs to change.
This girl talks too much. What are you doing? You were warned. Go down. What? I said go down. This is nonsense. Remove your hand from me. Do you know who I am? Go down now. Kneel.
My son cannot kneel.
Sit down. Raise your hands up. What kind of embarrassment is this? You are a bagger. Do it now.
As I was saying, women are not born to suffer for somebody else's ego. Marriage is not a prison. Forgiveness is not the same thing as returning to danger. And submission does not mean accepting abuse. You cannot hide behind tradition to justify cruelty.
I have daughters. If any man treated my daughter the way you treated your wife, I would never respect him again.
You abandoned your family. That's an abomination.
Stephanie, we were wrong.
We should have listened to you.
Then all eyes turned toward Kalu. For several seconds, he said nothing. Finally, he spoke.
I made mistakes. I'm sorry.
The day you left us to die in that hospital was the day this marriage ended. So no, your apology is not accepted.
But Stephanie, our son.
I and my son want nothing to do with you. I am done enduring. I am done shrinking myself to make society comfortable, and most importantly, I don't want my son growing up believing it's okay for a man to be disrespectful to a woman.
Kalu tried to speak, but the words would not come. For the first time, he had no control over the situation. The woman he thought would never leave had finally chosen herself. One by one, people began leaving the compound. The meeting was over. That evening, after everyone had gone home, Stephanie sat with Becca and admitted the fear she had been carrying for years. She was not afraid of Kalu. She was afraid of starting over. She was afraid of raising a child alone. She was afraid of having no source of income. Then Becca reminded her of something she had almost forgotten, her bakery dream. She reminded Stephanie of the cupcakes she used to bake back in school and how she always talked about owning a bakery one day. It was a dream she had buried for years because Kalu convinced her it was unnecessary. A few months later, Stephanie enrolled in a professional baking program. She already knew how to bake, but she wanted the skills and knowledge needed to turn her passion into a successful business. It was not easy. She spent hours studying recipes, learning new techniques, and practicing whenever she could. Through it all, Mama D and the rest of the family supported her. Becca checked on her constantly and encouraged her whenever she felt discouraged. Years later, after countless early mornings and sleepless nights, Stephanie achieved the dream she once thought she had lost forever. She opened her first bakery. On opening day, a smiling Becca and a proud Mama D stood among the guests as Stephanie cut the ribbon and officially opened her business. The dream that had once been dismissed was finally real. Soon, her bakery became popular. People knew her name. Customers came from far and near just to taste her pastries. Women who admired her determination came to learn from her. Young mothers found employment there. Girls with dreams found encouragement there. Stephanie became the support system she once needed. As for Kalu, his reputation never recovered. People remembered what he did to his wife. Unable to bear the humiliation, he eventually moved to another part of town. The dream he tried to destroy became the very thing that saved her.
Months later, little Chidubem was helping out in the bakery in his own little way, handing customers bottles of water and sometimes helping to carry small orders. He was a ray of sunshine. Stephanie smiled proudly as she watched him interact with customers. He grew up surrounded by love, stability, and strong women. Stephanie taught him kindness, responsibility, and how to treat women with respect. One evening, after the bakery had closed for the day, Stephanie stood alone and looked around at everything she had built. The shelves, the ovens, the smiling photographs on the wall, and the life she had created for herself and her son. For the first time in many years, she felt completely at peace. They told her to endure, but the day she chose herself, she discovered that there is life after living, and sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do is walk away from what is breaking her and choose the future she deserves.
Do you want to learn how to create AI story videos from scratch? Click the link in my bio to get started.